So whenever I have a free weekend, I usually do one of two things. Either go take some pictures or go running. So why not both? But with that, we need to start with some obligatory highway miles. After a few minutes, you know, I always had to stop and like, let the wind through my hair. You know, what's left of it. Like the thunder in the sky, keep on rolling. Like a rebel on the run, you can't hold me. The first real place I had to stop was in Yakima, which is like the home of all of America's hops, and you know, enjoy a couple beers. But while I was drinking, you might be asking yourself, Joe, what camera are you shooting? Well, my good friend, I was shooting the Leica CL, which is kind of the smaller, Minolta-made, not quite Leica. And then in it, I had Kodak Vision3 500T movie film. But after that beer, it was starting to get hot, like way too hot for this Western Washington kid, and I needed to get back in an AC car. But of course, if the Leica wasn't the only camera I had, that would be so silly. I also had with me an Ilford disposable camera with XP2 black and white film, which is a black and white film that's developed in C41 chemicals, which that's slightly confusing, but I'd never used it before and it seemed like a fun time to try it. And also, as the next day would be a lot of running, I wanted the lightest possible film camera I could come up with, and it's pretty hard to find something lighter than a disposable camera. After that, I crossed over into Oregon, and after a quick stop in Hood River, continued on up to Mount Hood itself, which is where I'd be spending the night before beginning my adventure the next morning. Wow, that smells fantastic. Suddenly you get up in the Alpine and it smells different. I was camping at a place called Cloud Cap, which is this campground. It's pretty high up the mountain, probably I think it's the highest like drivable campground on the Mount Hood area. And there's two lodges there. There's one that you can like rent and one that was being renovated at the time. Like I don't know, it might be done by now. Both just like really beautiful places to spend the evening and just to watch the sun fall off to the west. With that 500T, I was shooting with an 85B filter on the front of the camera, which would help balance out the color temperature to make it look more natural in the daylight. But my Minolta doesn't have a working light meter in it, and so I think I was kind of a little overexposing photos just a little bit too much, which is why the colors just look wrong. Like, I've actually seen these twice and they still just don't quite look right. So I don't know, I feel like this particular film might not be quite as versatile as some other films are, and so it might be better to make sure you're shooting it a little bit more accurately. That's hard because mine's self-rolled and so it's old, and who knows how it was stored between when it was made and then, so I don't know, there's a lot of things that go into it, but I don't know, the colors just, yeah, they're not quite right. This photo here of the mountain with kind of the path winding up to it, I just love the way that that winding path kind of pulls your eye through the colors, and there's the mix of the shadow color and the highlight color. It just looked really nice. And then also this photo here of the cloud cap in, and you can see the Mount St. Helens and Mount Adams off in the distance and stuff, and they just really, two photos that just really, you know, feel like they capture the emotion of what that evening felt like, which is probably a good goal for most photos. And as the last light was disappearing, and I was watching like the earth shadow kind of disappear into pink and blue and all the skyline colors and stuff, it was time to go to bed because that 5 a.m. Wake up time was gonna come way sooner than I wanted it to. Alright, so it's about 5:20 now. It's a little after when I intended to wake up. I'm sleeping on top of my phone when my alarm went off, so I'm trying to go a little quickly and get out of here. All right, it's 5:30. Let's start running. So let's talk about the trail. What am I doing today? I'm doing the Timberline Trail, which is a 40-mile hike around Mount Hood here in Oregon. Last summer, I ran around Mount St. Helens, which you can't really see right now, but it's right over there. And with that, I decided run around all of the big volcanoes in Washington, North Oregon. So what's next? It'll take me like a decade to do this, but yeah, here we go. This morning light was so pretty, and I wanted so badly to stay and keep shooting for so much time in this area just because like the way it was backlight and it was just very, very pretty. But I've learned in these big adventure days that every wasted minute in the morning costs double later on. And so as much as I wanted to stay, I knew I needed to keep hustling if I wanted to make it all the way around the mountain to be home or to get back in time. This is my favorite black and white photo I took on the trip just because the framing is so nice and the way that the trail and the burned out trees just pull your eyes through them. It just turned out really nicely, and I think it's a good photo. I am a little over 3 hours in and a little over about 14 miles along. Feeling really good. This is beautiful. First, like 2 hours, a little slower than I thought it would be, just because there's so many trees down. It's just made it really technical. A lot hard to go fast. But the last hour, I went flying.
just this big, wide, soft, cruisy trail. It's been so fun. So almost to the low point now, or maybe I just passed the low point. Now I start climbing for the next while. Like, I don't know, from now until I get to Timberline lunch for lunch, basically. I feel so sorry for all the backpackers on these big water, like these big river crossings. They look so miserable. They're big packs and stuff. Oh, they're just so hard. Like, I can make a jump with this little pack that most people can't. And whew, hats off to y'all.
With all the way of these leaves and stuff are pulling over, I feel like it looked like the Tour de France or something, where all the crowds are cheering on there, and so I kind of felt like all the leaves were like, yeah, Joe, you're doing great. They were my Tour de France. What a magical fairyland this is right now. Oh my goodness. Alright, so I think I'm about halfway up this really big climb that started way down there and is going up to up there. And after all that climbing, I then got to the Timberline Lodge just in time for lunch, which was a very needed beer and sandwich. Made it to Timberline. I am so lost. Lunch was great. Really good sandwich, nice to have a beer, but I probably ate too much. And so now, as I try to run downhill, my stomach is bouncing around and hurts really bad. So as much as this is really easy and I could be going really fast right now, I'm not. But also, I don't care. I have officially passed the care about how long this takes me point, and I'm just here to enjoy it. So if I'm walking, I don't care. All I have is like 10, 12 more miles or something like that. Just here, enjoying myself. Coming up on the 8th and I think final river crossing. So far I've been able to get across 5. I've had to wade through 2. I have low expectations because it's late afternoon, so the water's pretty high now. Well, I guess that was inevitable, wasn't it? Of course, last river, and a nice lady was trying to give me some pointers on where to go, and as I try to step around her, just dunked a foot straight in. And if one foot's wet, might as well just get them both wet. In prep for this, I've been saying if I could do the whole lap in about 12 hours, I'd be super stoked. And then I didn't think I was going to be able to do it with my stomach stuff coming after lunch. And then I just looked at my phone, and I had about 11 hours, and I'm beginning the last climb. So that kind of light a fire, and now I have to see how close to 12 I can do. Well, I take it back. No chance of 12. I'm bonking pretty hard. Probably not like crying eat a Snickers bad, but I need to take my foot off the gas. So just gonna cruise on in. Well, it seems like it's time. That's the top. Now, cruise on down. Finish.
at the high point. Did it. Now I just need to go down to the car. That was a success. That was hard. That's kind of the point, I think. Oh, I can see it.
And that was it. Somehow I forgot to do a arriving video because I don't know, I was tired or something. My phone said I did 50 miles or 51 miles. I don't know, that sounds slightly high. I think it might have given me a couple bonus ones in there, but it usually is pretty accurate as far as the elevation goes, which was 9,887 feet. At that point, I was extremely tired, went straight to bed, and got up the next morning, and I was out of color film. I was like, no big deal. I'll take a couple photos on the way down the mountain. Reddit makes it sound like there's always film at Walmart. Well, apparently not the one at Hood River. I had one or two last photos to take with the disposable camera.
My last photo of my black and white point and shoot. I drove by this spot on the way out and I just have to stop and take this picture. There's this weird moment when you have your last photos. It's like, how do you, am I doing this right? Am I capturing it like I want to? I don't know, just gotta try.
And then I'm out of film, and on the way home, nobody cares about what happened the rest of the time. But it was an awesome adventure. Go do cool things when you get moments, and I don't know, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below what your summer adventure is gonna be, and I'll see you around.